did, it's just, like, felt like I couldn't sit in my normal spot.
No, I
So-
understand.
Please rise.
Phones off?
Phone's off indeed.
Sorry.
You may be seated.
Good. Forget that. You ready to call?
Yes, sir.
Calling State of Wisconsin versus Joseph Jakubowski, 17 CF 655. Would you state the appearances, please?
Your Honor, Assistant District Attorney Rick Sullivan on behalf of the state.
Commissioner, the defendant, Joseph Jakubowski, appears in person in custody by counsel Michael Shannon Murphy.
You're prepared to begin preliminary hearing then?
We are, Your Honor, and we call Detective Bethany.
Detective, right up here. Have you sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated and state and spell your name for the record.
Ronald Betley, RONALD-BETLEY.
Your witness.
Thank you. How are you employed?
I am a detective with the Rock County Sheriff's Office. I've been so employed for 20 years as a sworn officer and held the rank of detective for approximately the last 4 years.
Now, I want to draw your attention back to April 4th of 2017 at approximately 8:40 p.m. Were you on duty at that time?
Yes.
And were you dispatched to the Armageddon Supplies at, in the town of Janesville in Rock County, Wisconsin?
Yes.
Why were you dispatched to that location?
Patrol units were sent to that location for an intrusion alarm. The alarm company indicated that the alarm indicated front door glass break. I was close, so I responded to back up the patrol units.
And was it about 8:41 when you arrived on scene?
Approximately.
Now, what did you observe when you arrived on scene?
When I arrived on scene, I positioned my squad toward the front entrance, it'd be the southeast corner, with observation of the front door. I could see that the glass of the front door was broken out, and I could hear an audible alarm coming from inside.
And once you observed that, did you call for other officers?
Yes, I directed the other officers to respond to the back of the building to cover the other exits.
Eventually, did you go into the building?
Yes, once we had those other exits covered, two other officers joined me. Prior to their arrival, the key holder, the business owner, had arrived and provided me keys of the business. And we made entry through the front door. We cleared the business, the interior, and determined there was no one left inside.
Now, was there video capabilities on that building?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to review the video around the time period where you dispatched?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you observe on the video?
And approximately, on the video display indicates exactly 1 hour ahead of real time. On the video was 9:37, video time 8:37 real time. A Caucasian male could be seen approaching the front door of the business, carrying a black duffel bag in his left hand and a framing type hammer in his right hand. He approached the front door of the business, broke the window out with the hammer. Put the hammer then in his left hand while he reached into through the broken window in an attempt to open the door from the inside, the deadbolt. Was unsuccessful, kicked at the door a few times, was still unsuccessful in getting the door open, and then dove head first through the broken window of the door.
Let me stop you there for just a second. You said that he was unsuccessful when he reached in to unlock the deadbolt. Did that require a key from both inside and outside?
Yes,
So that door remained locked when you arrived on scene, correct?
yes,
Now, when you were looking at the video, you said you saw the individual basically do a dive roll through the broken upper glass portion of the door, correct?
that's correct.
And what happened when he landed on the ground?
He stands up, you can see the individual in the video then drops the hammer on the floor and then proceeds directly to would be the north wall of the showroom or the sales floor and begins to forcefully remove long guns from the wall.
So firearms from the wall?
Yes.
And after the long guns are yanked from where they were at, what happened next?
Individual turns around, opens the glass display case, and begins to scoop handguns out of the display case and place them into the duffel bag.
Is he observed in that video taking anything else?
Yes, after the pistols were loaded in the duffel bag, individual turns around and then begins to load boxes of ammunition into the duffel bag as well.
After the duffel bag was full, what happened next?
After the ammunition was loaded into the duffel bag, then individual goes to the display racks on the walls and begins to take firearm accessories, magazines, things of that nature, places them into the duffel bag. Once those are loaded in the duffel bag's zip closed, hoist the duffel bag up onto shoulder and exits through the rear of the building.
Now, in the video, at any point in time, did you observe anything in which the defendant may have left, excuse me, the person may have left his DNA behind?
Yes, when I had gone through, after we had cleared the building, we went through with the owner who confirmed that several firearms were taken. While we're looking around the showroom, there is a metal stainless steel bar type stool next to the display case. And I observed a red stain on top of the stool that was consistent with blood.
Was there glass on top of that as well?
I don't know.
Did you collect that red substance?
I did not. That was collected by Identification Bureau, Deputy Paulson.
And I should have been more general. Your department collected that, correct?
That's correct.
And was that subsequently sent up to the crime lab?
Yes, it was.
And did you receive a test result from the crime lab, at least for an investigative lead on whose blood that was?
Yes, crime lab returned a lab report indicating that the source of the blood, or that the stain was in fact blood, and the DNA was linked to Joseph Jakubowski.
You see Mr. Jakubowski in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point out where he's sitting or an article building?
He's seated to the left of his attorney, Mr. Murphy, wearing a blaze orange jumpsuit.
Let the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant.
After you had cleared, after you looked at the videotape, were you able to see where in the building the defendant exited the building?
Yes.
Can you describe to the court exactly how that occurred?
Directly behind the sales area of the building, it would be to the north. It opens up into a large warehouse-type room. On the far northern wall, there is a pedestrian exit door as well as a large overhead garage door. In the video, the individual seen approaching the pedestrian door, trying to open it, is unsuccessful because that door also will only open with a key. And then the subject, after looking around for a few minutes, is able to determine the overhead garage door can be opened by just pressing the button for the automatic garage door opener. Depresses that button and then exits out through the overhead garage door.
Were you able to see any vehicles behind that building?
There are some vehicles that were observed on the video, but none that we could identify as, in that video, is identified as having been involved.
Now, were you able to determine how the defendant left the business?
Later on, what I should mention, while we were in the midst of this investigation, the patrol units were sent a short distance away from the burglary scene for a vehicle fire. We believed immediately that there was a good chance that given the close proximity of the vehicle fire, that the burglary and the vehicle fire may be related. And the patrol units were able to run a license plate on that vehicle, which returned to a 2001 Dodge Durango registered to Joseph Jakubowski.
Now, did you later have an opportunity to sit down and talk with Mr. Jakubowski?
Yes,
Did you ask him if he was a person who was seen in that video?
yes.
What did he tell you concerning the theft of guns and the person in that video?
He admitted that he was the one that broke into the armed gun supply firearms.
Did you also check his record?
Yes,
And were you able to determine whether or not he had a previous felony conviction?
I did. His criminal history indicated that he has a prior felony conviction and is prohibited from possessing a firearm.
And everything about which you testified occurred in Rock County, Wisconsin?
That's correct.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Cross-examination, Mr. Murphy.
Yes, thank you very much. You indicated that after this red stain that you determined, was eventually determined to be blood, was sent to the crime lab, correct?
That's correct.
How long before that report came back?
I don't recall the exact date. It was probably the next week, I believe.
About a week?
A week or less, yes.
Let me ask you this, have you had prior dealings with Mr. Jakubowski?
No.
Were you able to identify Mr. Jakubowski when you looked at that video, that surveillance video?
The image on the surveillance video could not make a positive identification.
All right, and so the next event that would lead you to be able to identify Mr. Jakubowski was the burning vehicle, is that correct?
There was one incident that we believe made us believe that they were possibly related.
Well, did you have any other hunches that Mr. Jakubowski was even involved in this matter until you came across that burning vehicle?
No.
How far was the burning vehicle from the crime scene?
I would have to estimate approximately 2 to 3 miles.
Now, when you watched that video of this burglary and the theft of these firearms, you testified earlier that you saw Mr. Jakubowski, or the person later identified as Mr. Jakubowski, turn and load a number of boxes of ammunition into a duffel bag, right?
That's correct.
Did you look at these boxes of ammunition or anything like that? Jakubowski wasn't making a determination at that point if a specific ammunition would go with a specific firearm that he took, correct?
I don't know if he was able to make that determination.
Okay. And when I think you testified that he kind of scooped all the handguns up from the glass display case, correct?
That's correct.
He wasn't really looking at them, he just, as many as he could, and that's pretty much how it was taken?
That's correct.
You indicated earlier that you were dispatched to the scene based upon an alarm, an audible alarm that was coming from the building indicating a break-in, correct?
The alarm company notified our dispatch center of the alarm.
Do you know what time the dispatch center was notified by the alarm company?
I don't recall specifically.
So we don't know how long we don't know, I guess, when the burglary actually took place without reference to the surveillance camera, correct?
No, we would be able to determine that. I just don't recall what time that came.
I guess my point is, how long was the alarm going off before you arrived?
We checked the dispatch time versus the time that the call was received from the alarm company, and it was less than a minute or 2 minutes out of the call from that.
All right, thank you. If I could just have a minute with Mr. Jakubowski.
Take your time.
What other involvement did you have in the investigation of this crime, Mr. Bentley?
I was involved in the investigation from the second it came in to the dispatch center until it was interrogation at the FBI office.
Okay, I have nothing further for the witness. Thank you very much.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Detective Bentley. You may step down.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Did you wish to present any evidence today, Mr. Murphy?
No, thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Sullivan?
Your Honor, we would move for bind over.
And Ms. Murphy?
I, of course, would object to bind over, Commissioner.
Court does find the defendant, Joseph Jakubowski, has probably committed a felony. It's ordered bound over for trial. Is there any information to file today or no?
There is, Your Honor, if I could have just a moment to sign.
Take your time. Thank you. The court has received the original information. Are you in receipt of a copy, Mr. Murphy?
Commissioner, I would acknowledge receipt of that document. I'd waive a formal reading of same, and that to plead not guilty to the charges contained therein.
Want your not guilty pleas on each count, Mr. Jakubowski. Bond will continue and Judge Daly will schedule it from here.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. And then off the record, you can move as soon as you're ready for our cameras.
I'll be able to see in a couple of days. Tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Anytime, Commissioner.